The party at my neighbor's house fell silent as I caught my wife's infidelity, and what happened next made even the boldest guests gasp in shock. Be me, 31 years old, living in Houston? Have to get this story off my chest. No easy way to say this, but my life exploded last week. Everything I thought was real just shattered. Working construction management at major company, making six figures and living comfortable life. Married to Laura for past 8 years, 2 kids, nice house and fancy neighborhood. Thought we had it all figured out. Used to think we were that perfect couple everyone envied. Our neighbor Peter throws this big summer garden party every year. It's like the biggest event in our neighborhood. Everyone shows up trying to outdo each other. Always has this whole costume contest thing. His wife Victoria makes it super competitive. Laura used to love these parties. Always went all out planning our costumes. Spent weeks getting everything perfect. Would practice poses and lines for hours. This year, she wanted us to go as characters from old movies. Ordered these expensive vintage outfits. Had all the accessories and everything planned. Even made me practice dance moves for weeks. Everything seemed normal until 2 weeks before party. Laura suddenly changes her mind completely. Says she wants to go as some famous actress instead. Claims our original idea isn't creative enough. Says everyone will be doing vintage stuff. Would have been whatever, except I knew the real reason. My friend Rick had been dropping hints for weeks. He's that guy who knows everything about everyone. Always hanging around at local spots. Picks up on stuff most people miss. Tells me Laura's been talking non-stop about this Andrew guy. Some dude from her office. Apparently he's the funniest person alive. Makes her laugh more than I ever did. Rick even caught them at this local bar called The Crown. Having what he called a very intimate conversation. Said they were sitting way too close. Bodies turned towards each other like nobody else existed. Rick didn't want to cause problems, but he knew I needed to know the truth. Said he couldn't keep quiet anymore. Wasn't just Rick's warning though. Started noticing things myself. All these late work meetings suddenly popping up. Laura constantly on her phone. Always texting with this weird smile. That smile used to be just for me. Now she's grinning at her screen all day. Gets super defensive if I asked about it. Had perfect excuse ready for everything. Like she'd rehearsed every possible scenario. Kept saying I was being paranoid. Making up stories in my head. Deep down knew something wasn't right. Could feel it in my gut every time she looked at her phone. Finally at Peter's party. Laura wearing this elaborate actress costume. Looks like Marilyn Monroe but more revealing. Tight dress and high heels. Spent hours getting ready. I'm standing there in half-assed James Dean outfit. Couldn't even match the suit right. Trying to laugh at everyone's dumb jokes. Keep losing track of Laura. Can't find her anywhere. Everyone keeps asking where she went. About an hour into party. See her talking to Victoria by the kitchen. They're whispering about something. Then Laura just disappears through back door. Get this weird feeling in my gut. Like something's seriously wrong. Not usually jealous type. Never been that controlling husband. But when your wife keeps vanishing at party, when you're supposed to be there as a couple, kind of hard to ignore. Make up excuse about needing fresh air. Someone offers me drink, but I wave them off. Follow same path she took. Peter's house has this fancy garden area in back. All lit up with string lights and stuff. Beyond that, there's this big workshop, where they keep tools and furniture. Usually locked during parties, but tonight doors slightly open. Can hear voices inside. My heart's pounding so hard, can feel pulse racing in my neck. Stand there frozen for a moment. Don't know whether to listen or burst in. Feels like I'm about to walk into bad movie scene. Take deep breath and push door open. And there they are, Andrew from her work, leaning against workbench. Laura standing way too close. His hand on her waist, whispering something and laughing quietly. They don't even notice me at first. Too caught up in their own world. 5 solid seconds of just standing there. Longest 5 seconds of my life. All those doubts turning into pure rage. Can literally feel blood boiling. Finally, Laura looks up. Her face goes white as sheet. Everyone freezes. Air in workshop turns ice cold. Can barely process what I'm seeing. Can't think of anything clever to say. No witty one-liners come to mind. Just say clear as day. Are you fucking kidding me, Laura? Andrew tries acting casual. Like this is totally normal situation. Puts his hands up like some surrender gesture. Hey man, it's not what you think. Most cliche line in history. Laura just stands there. Jaw clenched tight. Eyes darting everywhere. Looking for escape route probably. Think she'd have some excuse ready. But she just stutters. Blurts out, it's just not. Not what? I shoot back. Words come out sharp as knives. Don't even care anymore. Then, in most dismissive tone ever, Laura looks at me and says, "Don't make a scene, Thomas. It's a party." Like I'm the one causing problems. That's what she cares about. Making a scene. Not fact she got caught sneaking around. Not fact she's with this douche Andrew. Not the fact she's destroying our marriage. Not fact I'm standing here watching my life fall apart. 8 years of marriage crumbling in minutes. Nope. She's worried what neighbors might think. Worried about her precious reputation. Before I know it, voice gets louder. Oh, don't worry, Laura, I won't make a scene. I'll just let everyone know what a loyal wife you are. Words just pour out of me. Can't stop them anymore. Must have been shouting. Because few seconds later hear footsteps. Sound of running coming closer. Peter and bunch of party guests rushing over. Everyone wants front row seats to drama. Like watching life implode in slow motion. Can't even stop it anymore. Peter comes through door. Nearly trips over garden tools. Looks at Andrew. Then at me. Just goes, dude, what the hell's going on? His voice all concerned and confused. Have this choice right there? Keep quiet and deal with it later. Or just let everything explode. Choose nuclear option. Tell him exactly what I walked into. Tell everyone standing around. Whole ugly truth comes out. Moment words leave my mouth. Entire house goes silent. Like someone hit pause button. Everyone takes collective breath. People start whispering. Can hear their voices getting louder. Eyes darting between me and Laura. Like watching tennis match. Waiting for next line in this twisted drama. Laura's face turns bright red. Makeup can't hide how pale she gets. Can see her brain spinning. Trying to find way out. Looking for perfect excuse. But she's not fast enough. Then Andrew, this smug idiot, steps forward like he's peacekeeper. Trying to play hero or something. Thomas, listen, I know how this looks. But we were just talking. Most pathetic excuse ever. Says this holding hands up again? Like that's going to fix anything. Like some magic gesture of innocence. Look him dead in eyes. Voice steady but inside's on fire. Talking? Really? Then why are you out here hiding? In workshop away from everyone else? Feel like I might explode. Daring him to keep lying to my face? Want him to try defending himself? Laura steps in front of Andrew, blocking my view of him, like she's protecting him or something. Thomas, stop. You're blowing this way out of proportion. Hisses through gritted teeth, voice dripping with anger. The nerve of her, acting like I'm the problem here. Like I'm the crazy one, catching wife sneaking off with another guy, in middle of neighborhood party. Apparently that's just minor inconvenience. Like forgetting to take out trash? Out of proportion? I repeat. Let out bitter laugh. Can't believe what I'm hearing. You ditch me, sneak out here with him. And I'm supposed to pretend it's nothing? Voice getting louder with each word. Before she can respond, Victoria appears out of nowhere. Like she was waiting for this moment. Peter's wife has this sixth sense for drama. Always shows up at perfect time. Could tell she'd been waiting all night for something to explode. Probably heard everything already. She strolls in like it's casual visit, eyes flickering between all of us, taking mental notes for gossip later. What's going on here? Asks in this fake concerned tone, like she doesn't already know, as if she hadn't pieced it all together. Laura opens mouth to speak. Don't give her chance to spin more lies. I caught my wife here. Having private chat with her work buddy Andrew. Sneaking around, whispering like teenagers. Words come out harsh as sandpaper. Didn't mean to sound so angry, but no turning back now. Truth's already out there. Laura visibly flinches at my words. Like each one hits her physically. Victoria's eyebrows shoot up. Her eyes light up with gossip potential. That's when I notice more people gathering at door. Whole parties migrating to workshop. Everyone craning necks to see drama. Like we're some reality TV show. Andrew's still trying to play it cool. Still thinks he can smooth this over. Throws up quick sheepish grin. Like this is all big misunderstanding. We were just talking, he repeats. That's his brilliant defense. Like he practiced that line 100 times. Standing in front of mirror, sticking to his script. Won't say anything else. Laura, on other hand, starting to lose her composure, mask finally cracking. Throws hands up in frustration, eyes getting wet with tears. Why are you doing this, Thomas? Can we just talk about this in private? Voice shaking with fake emotion. Can't believe what I'm hearing. Now she wants privacy, after sneaking off to workshop with this guy. Like she has right to ask for discretion. Private? I practically yell. You haven't been private about anything. Not for months, Laura. Voice getting louder with each word. All frustration finally boiling over. All those late nights, all dodged conversations, all lies wrapped in half-truths. Months of deception coming to surface. That's when she drops her mask completely. Finally shows her true colors. Her face twists into this condescending sneer. Expression I've never seen before. Never knew she could look so cold. Oh, so now you're playing victim? You've barely even been here, Thomas. Always working late or out with your buddies. Voice dripping with venom. She spits words like they're poison. Been waiting to unload this speech? Probably rehearsed it for months, saving it for perfect moment. For context about my work. Construction management isn't easy. Projects don't run themselves. Hours are unpredictable. Not like I'm out partying every night. Site emergencies don't watch the clock. Most nights I come home, eat dinner and crash. Because job drains everything out of me. Building things takes real effort. Yeah, maybe wasn't super attentive. Could have done better, sure. But damn sure didn't think. Had to put GPS tracker on my wife to keep her from sneaking around with random office guy, like some teenager sneaking out. Don't even try that, I fire back. Can feel blood pressure rising. I'm working to keep this family going. While you're playing dress up with Andrew, in someone else's workshop, words come out sharper than intended. Her face contorts with rage, anger turning into something sharper, almost vindictive look in her eyes, like she's been waiting for this fight. You're never around, Thomas, she retorts with pure bitterness. I'm practically raising these kids alone. While you're off doing whatever you want, each word calculated to hurt. That was lowest blow possible. She knew exactly what she was doing, using kids as weapons. Could see Andrew shifting awkwardly, looking like he wants to disappear, melt right into workshop wall. Good, let him feel uncomfortable. Victoria still standing there, eyes wide as dinner plates, taking mental notes. For her gossip circle tomorrow, probably already planning phone calls. Wow, I say, shaking head in disbelief. So that's your excuse? I'm busting my ass for this family. And you think that justifies sneaking around? Each word feels like glass in my throat. Before she can answer, Victoria jumps right in, like she's been dying to speak, because why not add more fuel to fire? Laura, this isn't first time. You've been seen with him. Voice dripping with fake concern. She mutters just loud enough. Make sure everyone can hear. Master of dramatic timing. My stomach drops through floor. Room gets even quieter. If that's even possible, Victoria's words hang in air, like thick cigarette smoke, making everything feel toxic, making whole betrayal even worse. Laura whips head toward Victoria, eyes wide with panic, looking like deer in headlights. What are you talking about? She demands frantically, voice higher than usual. But no denying it now. Everyone in room can tell. There's more to this story. Months of secrets coming out. Then Andrew, absolute genius, decides to play noble hero. Probably thinks he can save situation. Victoria, this isn't your business. Takes step forward like some protector, acting all righteous suddenly. Places hand on Laura's shoulder, like he has any right to touch her, like he's known her forever. My fists clench involuntarily, knuckles turning white. For split second, consider hitting him. Would be so easy right now, but don't do it. Won't give either of them satisfaction. Of making me look like crazy husband? Won't play that role for them. Get your hands off my wife. Say it low and steady, voice like frozen steel. Andrew hesitates for a moment, looks between me and Laura, like he's not sure what happens next, waiting for someone to make move. Laura doesn't push him away, doesn't even try to step back. That tells me more than words ever could. Says everything about us now. Peter finally makes his way in, having heard all commotion. Probably tried to stop others coming. Doesn't even ask questions, just stares at Laura and Andrew. With this disappointed look, like father catching teenagers. Laura, he says quietly, shaking his head slowly. It's just one word, but carries weight of judgment. Whole neighborhood's judgment. That's when Laura finally breaks down. Strong, dismissive facade cracks open. Starts crying, but not movie-style tears. Not those dramatic soap opera sobs. This is silent, angry crying. Makes her look desperate, trying to hold on to whatever control she thinks she still has. Makeup running down her face. Turns toward me suddenly, reaches out to touch my arm, hand shaking slightly. Thomas, please. Let's just go home and talk about this. She pleads with shaking voice. Like we can just walk away from this? Talk about what, Laura? Take step back from her reach. Can't stand thought of her touching me. What's left to talk about? Voice comes out hollow. Feel something break inside. Not just betrayal anymore. Not just lies or embarrassment. Not even about the affair. It's realization that this whole time, Laura's been someone else entirely. Like living with stranger. Someone wearing my wife's face. Person I thought I knew. Walk out of workshop without another word. Leave pieces of my life behind. Feel like I'm leaving more than party. Leaving whole world I knew. Don't even stop to see if she follows. Don't really care anymore. Push through crowd of party guests. All been eavesdropping outside. Like audience at theater show. Feel weight of their stares. Their whispers pressing down. Like pressure in back of my head. Everyone will know by morning. Get outside into dark night. Moon hanging like spotlight. Cool June air hits face hard. Only thing keeping me grounded. Only thing that feels real. As I walk to my car, can hear Laura calling my name. Voice echoing an empty street. Don't turn around. Can't turn around. Won't give her that power. If I look back now, know I'll see her standing there. Can't handle that sight right now. Not ready to face reality. Get in car and slam door. Sound echoes like gunshot. Just sit there for a moment, gripping steering wheel, until knuckles turn white, World spinning around me. Feel like I'm on edge, either about to break down or completely lose my mind. Can't tell which is worse. But don't do either. Just sit there frozen. Just drive away instead. Leave everything behind. Drive home becomes complete blur. Don't even remember streets. Probably ran some red lights. City's just dark smudge around me. Body moving on autopilot. While mind keeps replaying everything. Like broken record that won't stop. Hands gripping steering wheel so tight. They're starting to ache. Knuckles white as bone. Workshop scene keeps looping in head. Every single word. Every expression. Every sneer Laura threw my way. Each memory like fresh cut. That look on Andrew's face? Trying so hard to stay cool. Like he's done nothing wrong. But deep down he knew. He'd just blown up my life. Destroyed everything I had. Finally get home. House is dark and quiet. Like nothing even happened. World keeps spinning anyway. Kids at my parents' place. For whole weekend. Thank God for small mercies. At least no explaining to do there. Not yet anyway. Walk into our bedroom. Can barely recognize it. Everything looks so normal. Like some sick joke. The bed we shared. Pictures on walls. Her perfume bottle on dresser. All these pieces of our life. They all betrayed me too. Every single thing feels false now. Don't turn on lights. Can't face reality yet. Just sit on edge of bed. Stare at wall in darkness. Listen to ticking of old clock. The one Laura insisted we buy. Said it had character. Another lie probably. Phone starts buzzing. It's Laura. Of course it's Laura. Texts coming rapid fire. One after another. Like machine gun of guilt. Thomas, please let me explain. I'm sorry. Can we talk? Please. I'm coming home now. Don't leave. Each message more desperate. Turn phone face down. Don't want to see more? Can't handle her words. But silence is worse somehow. House too quiet without her. Without her fake reassurances. Without her pretend love. Too loud with thoughts in my head. Mind won't stop spinning. Keep seeing her in workshop. Standing there with Andrew. Pretending not to care. That her husband just walked in. Like I'm nothing to her. Every time close my eyes. It's there waiting. Like some cruel glitch. In my memory that won't go away. Stuck on endless replay. About hour later, hear door slam downstairs. Sound echoes through empty house. Her footsteps in hallway. Slower than usual. Almost hesitant. Like she's afraid to come up. She calls out, Thomas, are you home? Voice trembling slightly. But there's something else there. Undercurrent of anger in her voice. Like she's victim somehow. Like she's one who's been wronged. Can't believe her nerve. Finally makes way to bedroom. Standing in doorway. Arms crossed defensively. Looking like stranger now. Half dressed in that movie star costume. Expensive dress all wrinkled. Makeup completely smudged. Eyes red from crying. False tears probably. Looks like complete mess. Not kind that makes you want to comfort. More like kind that makes you wonder. How you ever believed her act? How you fell for all the lies. She takes deep breath. Starts her speech. Thomas, listen. This isn't what you think. Stop, cut her off immediately. Don't even look at her. Just stop. Thomas, please. Let me explain. Voice getting desperate. I don't need your explanations, Laura. My voice comes out cold. I saw enough. She walks over, tries to sit next to me on bed, like she still has that right. Get up immediately. Create distance between us. Can't stand her being close. Feels like she's polluting air. Just by being there. Can't breathe with her nearby. Not ready to hear whatever. She's going to spin next. Whatever lies, she's prepared. But she keeps pushing. Thomas, you're blowing this. Way out of proportion. She says, voice getting defensive. Like I'm unreasonable one. Andrew and I were just talking. That's all it was. He's going through rough time. I was just trying to be there for him. Each word more ridiculous than last. Can't believe words from her mouth. Just talking, I repeat. More from shock than anything. Are you kidding me, Laura? Voice shaking with disbelief. She throws hands up in frustration. Yes, that's all it was. Andrew's dealing with divorce. He needed someone to talk to. Like she's some kind of therapist. Let out hollow laugh. Sound hurts coming out. A divorce? So what, you're his therapist now? Words dripping with sarcasm. Laura's face hardens. Shifting into defensive mode. One I've seen too many times lately, where she twists words until she feels justified. Like she's rehearsed this. No, I'm just being a friend. Something you wouldn't understand? Trying to make me villain. Feel surge of anger in chest. Like fire spreading through me. Don't you dare turn this around. Point finger at her. Can barely control rage. You lied to me. You snuck around. Now trying to cover it up. Like I'm too stupid to see. What's really going on? Each word hits like hammer. She shakes head violently. Voice rising with each word. I didn't lie. I never did anything wrong. Face getting red with anger. But you're never around. Always working or with friends. I'm left here alone. Trying to hold everything together. Playing victim card perfectly. So what? Shoot back immediately. Can't believe what I'm hearing. That's your excuse? You think because I'm working, it gives you free pass? To sneak around behind my back? Voice getting louder. She narrows her eyes. That's when I see it. Truth finally showing. All resentment she's been hiding. This whole time, like mask finally slipping. You don't listen to me, Thomas. You never do. Voice full of bitterness. You just brush me off. Like I'm background noise. In your life, Andrew actually listens. He makes me feel like I matter. Final knife in back. And there it was. Truth she'd been holding back. Finally out and open. Like poison in the air. Worse than anything imagined. She wasn't just justifying actions. She was telling me it was my fault. That I drove her to this, making me responsible for her choices. Can feel blood rushing to face. Anger turning into something colder. Like ice in my veins. Something like pure disbelief. Can't process what I'm hearing. Force myself to breathe. Try to keep calm. Count to 10 in head. So this is my fault? Ask while almost laughing. Sound comes out hollow. You chose to lie to me. To sneak around. And now you're trying to tell me it's because I didn't listen? Voice steady but trembling inside. Maybe if you paid attention, she mutters under breath. But I catch every word. That was it. The final straw. Last thread of patience snaps. Could handle the lies. But this, blaming me for her betrayal. Making me responsible for her choices. Feel like going to explode. Hands start shaking. Adrenaline pumping hard. Have to ball them into fists. To keep myself steady. Knuckles turning white. Want to yell. Want to rage at her. Want to break something. But something inside just shuts off. Like switch being flipped. Suddenly feel nothing at all. Complete emotional numbness. Laura say quietly. Barely holding it together. Voice barely above whisper. If you're that unhappy, why didn't you just talk to me? Why didn't you try to fix this? Instead of running to Andrew? Questions burning inside me. She blinks at words. For split second. See something like guilt. Flash in her eyes. Brief moment of truth. But then she closes off again. Goes back to that cold, calculated version of herself. Person I don't recognize anymore. Seems so foreign to me now. Like stranger wearing wife's face. You wouldn't have understood, she says flatly. Like it's simple fact. Like she's convincing herself. More than me. Justifying everything. Just nod to myself. More than to her, really. Like final piece falling into place. Been trying to piece together puzzle. Where pieces didn't fit. Been blind for so long. Now finally see whole ugly picture. Truth hits like truck. She didn't want to fix anything. Never wanted to save us. Just wanted reason to blame me. Needed her excuses. To feel justified in whatever she was doing with Andrew. Or whoever else might come along. Walk over to dresser. Grab my keys and wallet. Hands steady for first time tonight. Where are you going? She asks suddenly. Panic creeping into voice. Like she's losing control. Out, say shortly. Not looking back at her. Can't look at her anymore. Don't know where exactly. Just anywhere. That isn't in this room. That isn't with her. Need space to breathe. Need space to think. Need to clear my head. Thomas, please don't leave. Like this. We need to talk about this. She begs but sounds forced. Like reading from script. Like saying it because she's supposed to, not because she means it. Turn at door finally. Look her in eyes. One last time. Laura, we've done enough talking. Voice comes out stronger than feel. You wanted attention. You got it? But I'm done playing this game. Each word feels final. Walk out after saying that. Don't look back again. Down the stairs. Hear her call my name. Voice echoing through house. But keep moving. One foot in front of other. Out front door. Into cold night air. Stars watching overhead. Winds biting cold. But feels good somehow. Like waking from nightmare. Like something's waking me up. From bad dream I've been living, reality finally setting in. Get in car and just drive. No destination in mind. Streets blur together. Thoughts racing million miles. Anger mixing with sadness. All twisted with confusion. Emotions swirling like storm. Can't tell which feeling's stronger. Everything hurts same now. My marriage just shattered. Right in front of me. 8 years gone in one night. All I can think is, what the hell do I do now? Life's completely derailed. Eventually pull into parking lot. Can't drive anymore. By this park I used to visit. When needed to clear head. Used to come here to think. Sit there for what feels like hours. Time doesn't make sense anymore. Just watching sun come up. Over trees in distance. Sky turning pink and gold. Phone keeps buzzing. More messages from Laura. Won't stop coming. But don't read them. Can't read them. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Just can't handle her words. Or her excuses. Sit in that quiet, empty lot. World waking up around me. Finally let myself cry. First time since it happened. Not loud, dramatic crying, like you see in movies. Nothing so theatrical. Just silent, ugly crying. That leaves you feeling hollow. Emptied out completely. Don't know how long sit there. Time loses all meaning. But by time finally stop. Sun's high in sky. Morning's fully here. Know what have to do next. Decisions already made. Time to make some hard choices. Can't avoid it anymore. Need to face reality of what life's become. What Laura's made it? By time sun fully up. Made my decision. No going back now. Not going to let Laura twist this. Won't let her gaslight me anymore. Won't be her victim. Not going to believe I'm to blame. For what she's done. Seen enough of her manipulation. Heard more than enough. The pity in her voice. All those excuses. Each one more hollow than last. Way she flipped guilt onto me. Like master manipulator. It all snapped something inside. Something that can't be fixed. Bridge completely burned. Check my phone finally. Have to brace myself. Deep breath before looking. About 20 messages from Laura. Phone almost dead from buzzing. Most are long-winded apologies, mixed with more accusations. Classic guilt tactics. Thomas, can't we talk about this? You're overreacting. I'm sorry, but wasn't doing anything wrong. You need to trust me. Like trust means nothing now. You have to take responsibility too. Leaving won't fix this, Thomas. Each text like fresh punch, each message trying to drag me back into twisted narrative she's spinning. Web of lies she's created. Can't read anymore. Makes me physically sick. Shove phone in pocket. Focus on breathing. Try to stay grounded. But weight of everything. Starting to bear down. Can feel it crushing me. Years of trust, love, daily routines, all our shared moments. Everything being ripped apart like paper in storm. Know I need to talk to someone. Someone who'll give it straight. No sugarcoating. Need someone who won't. Deal in half-truths. Like Laura's been doing. My brother Richard. He's that no-nonsense type. Always tells it like it is. Doesn't sugarcoat anything. Exactly what need right now? Haven't told him what happened yet. Been avoiding everyone. But he's one of those people who can cut through noise. Tell you what needs doing. Even if truth hurts. Drive to Richard's place. Hands steady on wheel now. Lives in old bungalow. Edge of town. Away from neighborhood drama. Richard answers door. Looks like been awake for hours. Probably doing morning workout. Probably been out jogging. Or working on house project. Always busy with something. Thomas? He asks. Eyes narrowing at sight of me. Reads my face instantly. Clearly sensing something's wrong. Knows me too well. It's early. What's going on? Voice already concerned. Don't trust myself to speak. Words stuck in throat. Just walk past him. Into living room. Need minute to collect thoughts. Richard closes door. Follows behind me. Giving me space. Leans against wall. Arms crossed. Waiting for me to talk. Patient as always. So, you look like seen ghost. Trying to keep tone light. Sit down hard on couch. Run hands through hair. Probably look like mess. Stare at coffee table. Can't look him in eyes. Too much emotion. Laura's been cheating. Voice barely above whisper. Words feel like lead. Words feel heavy. Coming out of mouth. Finally saying it makes it real. Richard doesn't react right away. Just stays silent. Letting it sink in. Waiting for me to keep going. Knows there's more. So tell him everything. From first small doubts to summer party disaster. Every painful detail. Tell him about what saw in Peter's workshop. Voice shaking whole time. Even replay argument. From last night. Word for word. Can't forget single moment. Tell how she tried. To spin blame onto me. Make herself victim. When finished telling everything, Richard lets out long breath. Like he's processing it all. Damn, he mutters quietly. Shaking head in disbelief. And you're sure she's been... Can't even finish sentence. Nod head slowly. She didn't even deny it. Just kept saying they were talking. Bitter laugh escapes me. But you didn't see way she acted. Richard, it wasn't innocent. Voice cracking slightly. He rubs back of his neck. Clearly trying to think, always the analytical one. Richard isn't type to jump. To quick conclusions. Never has been. Doesn't freak out over small stuff. Always level-headed. But when he speaks, his voice is dead serious. No room for doubt. Look, Thomas. Not going to sugarcoat this. Never does anyway. Sounds like she's been playing you. Now she's trying to guilt you into thinking this is your fault. Laying out harsh truth. You can't let her do that. Voice firm but concerned. I know, mutter quietly. Words taste like ash, but still feel this voice. Nagging in back of head. Can't shut it up. Questioning everything. Should have paid more attention? Should have seen this coming? Doubts eating me alive. Richard seems to sense direction thoughts are going. Reads me like book. Thomas, he says firmly. Don't start that crap. Won't let me spiral. You know as well as I do. Trust goes both ways. Truth hits hard. If she had issues, should have talked to you, not run to some other guy. You didn't make her do that. Each word like hammer blow. He's right and deep down. Know it's true. Can't deny facts. Don't have energy to argue. Richard's right about everything. Truth hurts but needed. But still feel this sadness. Like mourning something that isn't even dead yet. Ghost of marriage still haunts. Idea of our marriage. Our life together. Everything we built. All unraveling before. Can even process it. Like watching film in reverse. What should I do? Finally ask him. Voice barely steady. Feel completely lost. Like ship without anchor. You need to get out of there. Thomas, if you keep staying. In that house with her. Voice dead serious now. She'll keep controlling narrative. She's already manipulating situation. Making herself the victim. Speaking from experience maybe. If you stay there, it's only getting worse. Can hear certainty in his voice. Where do I go? Ask feeling lost. World spinning still. Haven't even thought about what leaving house means. Reality hitting hard. Kids' rooms. Our life. Everything we built. All falling apart. Feels like everything. Caving in at once. Can't breathe thinking about it. Richard sighs deeply. Look, if you need place, you can crash here. No hesitation in offer. But gotta start getting your ducks in row. Always practical. Talk to lawyer. Figure out your options. Don't just sit around, waiting for her to find another way to guilt you back. Each word hits mark. A lawyer? God hadn't even thought that far ahead. Future seems blurry. This all becoming too real, too fast. Can't process speed. What about kids? Ask suddenly. Heartbreaking again. Thought hits like sledgehammer. Pain fresh and raw. Don't want to drag them into this mess. Voice breaking finally. Richard's face softens bit, but doesn't back down. Knows what needs saying. They'll find out eventually. One way or another, truth hits hard again. Can't protect them from everything. Thomas, that's just fact. Voice gentler now, but can make sure this doesn't get worse. The longer you wait, more confused they'll be when truth comes out. And it will come out. Know he's right? But idea of explaining this to our kids, stomach turns thinking about it. Telling them mom and dad won't be together anymore. Words taste like poison. Feels like admitting defeat. Like failing them somehow. Worst feeling ever. In some irreversible way. Can't take this back. Richard sees hesitation. On my face? Reads me like book? I know it sucks, man. He says quietly. Rare moment of softness. But can't fix this. By pretending it's not happening. Truth I need to hear. Need to start thinking about what's best for you and those kids. Not her. Words sink deep after long pause. Finally nod slowly. Accept reality finally. You're right. Say it out loud. Voice stronger now. Feel something harden inside. Resolution I didn't have before. Finding strength somewhere. Can't stay there. Decision feels final. Richard claps my shoulder. Sign of support. Brotherly gesture. Feels grounding somehow. In all this chaos, anchor in storm. All right, he says. Get your stuff. Come back here. No hesitation in offer. Don't make big scene. Just grab what you need. For a few days, keeping it practical. Let her know taking space. To think. Give it time to settle. Don't let her reel you back. With more manipulative crap. Sees right through her games. Word manipulative hits hard. Like physical slap to face. Truth finally clear. That's exactly what it was. Laura been manipulating me. Gaslighting me whole time. Making me doubt everything. Even made me question. My own sanity. Played me like fiddle. Now illusions shattered. Can't unsee it anymore. Like scales falling from eyes. Drive back to house. With strange sense of calm. Emotional numbness maybe. Like body already detached. From whole situation? Running on autopilot. Just functioning on instinct. Mind surprisingly clear. Pull into driveway. Laura's car still there. Of course it is. Not surprising really. Expected her to be waiting. Probably planned next move. Ready with new story. Or another guilt trip. More manipulation tactics. Front door slightly ajar. Feels symbolic somehow. Makes me uneasy looking at it. Like metaphor for marriage. Barely closed. Vulnerable to whatever. Lurking outside. Just like our relationship. Step inside house. Eerily quiet except for that old clock. Ticking in living room wall. Sound feels mocking now. Can hear Laura upstairs. Moving around in bedroom. Probably rehearsing speech. halfway upstairs when hear her voice clearly, speaking quietly into phone. Freeze in place. Listen without thinking. Can't help myself? I don't know what to do. Andrew, she whispers. Voice full of anxiety. He's getting lawyers involved. I didn't think he'd actually leave. Panic in her voice. Hearing Andrew's name again. Like another slap to face. Physical pain almost. Feel blood drain from head. Replaced by cold buzzing anger. Rage building inside. No eavesdropping isn't right. Not most honorable thing. But can't stop listening. Need to hear truth. I tried everything. Laura continues speaking. Voice shaking with anxiety. He's not listening anymore. He's just so angry. Like I'm unreasonable one. Pause while she listens. Can imagine Andrew's response. Probably try and calm her down. Telling her it's not that bad. More manipulation. Saying she can still fix things. Both delusional. Thought makes me sick. Physically nauseous. Laura still turning to him. Even now. Even after everything. After whole thing blown up. Shows where loyalty really is. Just stay out of it for now. She says softly. Voice barely audible. If Thomas finds out, we're still talking. It'll only make things worse. More secrets, more lies. That's it. That's all need to hear. Final nail in coffin. Turn and walk back down. Steps as silent as possible. Heart pounding in chest. Can't face her right now. Might say things I'll regret. Head to kitchen instead. Need to stay focused. Grab few more essentials. Important documents. Some clothes. Things might need. Anything might need. If separation lasts. Longer than thought. Being practical now. About to leave house. Hear her footsteps on stairs. Sound echoes in quiet house. Turn around slowly. There she is. Like ghost from past. Face mixture of surprise and dread. Can't hide emotions now. Thomas, she says. Voice cracking slightly. Wasn't expecting me. I didn't know you were here. Another lie probably. I can see that. Reply coldly. Ice in my voice. Try keeping anger in check. Hands shaking slightly. Just came to grab. More of my things. Voice steady somehow. Laura's eyes dart to duffel bag. Panic rising in her face twisting. Between guilt and desperation. Can't decide which act to play. Can we please just talk? She asks, taking step toward me. Same old routine. I think you've done... Enough talking, Laura. Words come out sharp. And I heard plenty. Let her know I know. She freezes in place. Deer in headlights look. Watch realization dawn. On her face. Moment she knows I heard. Thomas, it's not. What you think? Same tired excuse? Stop saying that. Finally snap at her. Can't take lies anymore. You keep telling me, it's not what I think, but never actually say what it really is. Truth hurts both ways. Just dance around truth. Making excuses? Blaming me for not understanding. Voice rising with each word. I'm done trying to understand. Something you refuse. To be honest about. Final breaking point. She takes shaky breath. Eyes welling up again. More fake tears coming. I just needed someone. To talk to. She repeats like mantra. Same old story. Never meant for it. To get this far. More excuses piling up. Get this far? Echo her words bitterly. Taste like poison. You mean lying to me? Sneaking around with Andrew? Then try and cover it up? Even after getting caught? Each word hits target. It wasn't like that. She insists desperately, voice breaking again. You weren't there, Thomas. You don't understand. How hard it was. Playing victim again. I wasn't there. Because you never let me be? Interrupt her sharply, voice rising with anger. You shut me out, Laura. Lied to my face. Turned to someone else. Instead of dealing with problems we had, truth pouring out. Because I didn't think... You cared! She yells back suddenly, voice echoing through house. Her voice trembling now. You were so wrapped up. In work and everything else. You never saw me, Thomas. Each word calculated. I felt invisible. Like I didn't matter. To you anymore. More manipulation. Stare at her. Try processing words. She's throwing at me. Mind racing to keep up. Part of me wants to believe her. See her as hurt, lonely wife. She's trying to portray. Old instincts die hard, but can't shake memory. Her in workshop with Andrew. Her dismissive tone. When confronted her, truth impossible to ignore. Her constant attempts to spin blame onto me. Like master manipulator. Maybe I wasn't best husband. Admit quietly. Give her that much. But that doesn't excuse what you did. Voice firm now. She doesn't respond right away. Just stands there defeated. Like puppet with cut strings. Shoulders slumped down. Tears running down cheeks. Makeup smearing again. Can see cracks in her facade. Mask finally breaking. Weight of everything. Finally crashing down. Reality hitting hard. But instead of feeling sympathy, just feel tired. Emotionally drained. Tired of her excuses. Tired of being villain. In my own story. Can't play this role anymore. I'm leaving. Say more firmly this time. Voice doesn't shake. I'm moving forward, Laura. I can't keep doing this. Each word feels final. She shakes head violently. Takes another step toward me. Desperation in every move. Thomas, please! She whispers desperately. Voice barely audible. We can fix this. I know I messed up. But I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make it right. Too little, too late. Maybe you are. Reply, feeling resignation. Replace anger. Truth settling in. But I'm not. Two simple words. She looks like been slapped. Face crumpling with hurt and disbelief. Can't process rejection. So that's it? She asks, voice barely whisper. Finally understanding. You're just going to give up? Trying one last guilt trip. Let out long breath. Feel strange relief wash over. Weight lifting finally. No, Laura. Say softly but firmly. Voice steady now. I'm just done fighting. For something you already gave up on. Truth finally spoken. Walk past her slowly. Don't wait for response. Nothing left to say. Reach front door. Hear her sob quietly. Sound echoes in empty hall. Don't turn around. Can't turn around. Would break resolve. If look back now, know what I'd see. Past haunting present. Would see woman once loved. 8 years of memories. Someone who shared my life. My dreams. My family. Everything we built. But now she's just stranger. Wearing face of someone. Used to trust. Can't recognize her anymore. Step outside into morning. Close door behind me. Sound feels final. Feel cool breeze hit face. Nature doesn't care about drama. It's done. No going back now. Bridge fully burned. Drive away from house. Hand steady on wheel. Feel weight of past few days. Starting to lift. Little by little. Like fog clearing slowly. No road ahead rough. No illusions anymore. Full of legal battles. Custody talks. Emotional fallout. Long path ahead. But for first time, in long time, feel like in control of own life again. Finally seeing clearly. Get back to Richard's place. Safe harbor in storm. He's waiting on porch. Beer in each hand. Knows me too well. Doesn't say anything. Just hands me one. Silent understanding. Clinks his bottle against mine. Brother's way of supporting. Not really celebration. More like acknowledgement. Silent understanding. That survived something brutal. Still standing somehow. Battered but not broken. You all right? Richard asks after a while. Voice gruff but kind. Yeah, replies slowly. First real smile in days. Think I'm going to be... Actually believe it. Sit there in silence. Watching stars come out. Nature keeps moving. For once, quiet doesn't feel so heavy anymore. Peace finally coming. Feels like new beginning. Hard one, painful one, cost everything to get here. But still beginning, nonetheless. Fresh start maybe? Days after final talk. With Laura we're strange. Time moves differently. Mix of relief and pain. Emotional roller coaster. Moving on proving harder than just leaving house. Physical part was easy, like trying rebuild life, while dragging ruins of old one behind. Can't escape past completely. Kids still at parents' place. Grateful for that. They don't know full story yet. Dreading that conversation. Have to explain why. Daddy isn't coming home. Hardest part ahead. My lawyer, Margaret. Turns out to be no nonsense. Exactly what need. Woman in mid-50s. Has this calm authority. Makes chaos seem manageable. Makes everything feel like can handle it. Even when feels impossible. Professional distance helps. She doesn't waste time. Sugarcoating anything. Straight to business. Soon as sit in office. Margaret lays out hard facts. No time wasted. Need to gather all records. Every financial document. Years of paperwork. Prepare for custody battle. Kids are priority. Brace for Laura's attempts. To control whole narrative. She's already starting. Got to protect yourself. Margaret says firmly. Voice full of experience. But keep sympathetic tone. Sees this every day. If she's been lying about the affair, good chance she'll try. Twist this in her favor. When things get messy, professional warning. Messy, perfect word. Describes everything. More I uncover, messier it gets. Like endless rabbit hole. Night before meeting kids. Richard and I talk strategy. Need game plan. Over late dinner, neither really eating. He warns me be careful about what say to them. Kids are sensitive. They're going to be confused. Maybe even angry. He cautions seriously. Speaking from experience, maybe poking at his salad like it offended him. Nervous habit. Don't badmouth Laura. No matter how tempting, harder than sounds. They need figure out their own feelings about their mom without you adding fuel to fire, wisdom in his words. Yeah, mutter back. Food untouched. Push food around plate. But what if they ask? Voice uncertain. Richard leans back in chair. Lets out heavy sigh. Wait a moment. You're their dad, Thomas. Just have to be honest. Without poisoning their view of their mom, threading needle carefully. It's tightrope walk. But you can do it? Has faith in me. Nods slowly, knowing. He's absolutely right. Truth hurts but necessary. But still dread moment. Stomach in knots. Kids don't deserve this. To be caught in storm. Innocent casualties. They're innocent in all this. Not their fault. Next day drive to parents. Hands shaking on wheel. Feel like heading to own execution. Heart pounding whole way. Mom meets me at door. Sad smile on face. Eyes full of concern. Gives tight hug. Whispers in ear. Just be patient, honey. They're confused. Mother's wisdom. Walk into living room. Time seems to slow. My daughter Claire looks up from her coloring book. 8 years old. Has same big eyes as Laura. Painful reminder. Eyes that used to make me feel at home. Now bring different pain. Now only remind me of what I've lost. Everything changed. She smiles seeing me, but there's hesitation. Uncertainty there, like she's not sure how to feel anymore. Kids sense everything. Daddy! My son Billy shouts. 5 years old. Runs up for hug. Pure innocence. Throws himself at me. Like nothing changed. If only that's simple. Kids have this way of thinking everything can be fixed if they just love you enough. Wish that were true. Wish it were that simple. Reality much harder. Hey, buddy, say softly. Forced smile on face. Feels like mask. How about we all sit down? For minute. Voice trying to stay steady. Claire puts crayons down. Movement slow, careful. Looks between me and parents. Eyes too knowing for age. They quietly retreat to kitchen, giving us space. She's already piecing things together in that way. Kids do when adults start acting weird. They sense everything. What's wrong, Daddy? She asks, voice small and hesitant. Breaking my heart already. Take deep breath. Try keep voice steady. Hardest conversation ever. Listen, guys. Need to talk about something important. Words feel heavy. Mommy and I, we're going to be living in different houses for a while. Truth finally out. Claire's eyes widen. Billy just stares confused. Different reactions. Why? Claire asks. Voice almost whisper. Question dreaded most. This is part rehearsed. 100 times in head. Still feel unprepared. No good way to say it. Mommy and I, having some problems. Explain as gently as possible. Choosing words carefully. We need some time apart. To figure things out. Partial truth anyway. But we both love you. So much. That's never going to change. Only certainty left. Billy doesn't grasp fully. Blessing of being 5. Just tilts head confused. Are you coming home soon? Daddy? Innocent question hurts most. Swallow hard. Try keep emotion out. A voice? Almost impossible. Not right now, buddy. Voice barely steady. But you'll still see me. A lot, okay? Can call me anytime. Whenever you want. Promise I'll keep. Claire's eyes fill with tears. Like morning dew. Are you and Mommy getting divorced? She asks, trembling. Word too big for her. Word divorce feels heavy. Coming from her tiny mouth. Shouldn't know that word yet. Like she's carrying burden. She doesn't deserve. Too young for this pain. Pause for moment. Not wanting to lie. Truth versus protection. Also not wanting to give more pain than she can handle. Walking tightrope. I don't know yet, Claire. Admit quietly. Honesty wins. We're just trying to figure out what's best. For all of us. Partial truth at least. She wipes eyes. Nods without speaking. Too mature for age. Billy still not understanding. Full gravity of situation. Blessing in disguise. Just asks if he can go back to coloring. Innocent escape. Nod and he happily runs back. To his crayons. Wish was that simple. Oblivious to storm. Raging around him. Protection of youth. When Claire hugs goodbye, she whispers in my ear. Please don't leave us, Daddy. Words pierce heart. Takes every ounce of strength. Not to break down. In front of her. Stay strong for kids. I'm not leaving you. Sweetheart, I promise. Voice thick with emotion. Hold her close tightly. I'll always be here. For you, I promise. Mean every word. Drive back to Richard's. In complete silence. Radio stays off. Conversation was painful. As expected it would be. Maybe worse. But necessary step. Can't hide forever. Couldn't keep hiding from reality anymore. Truth had to come out. Neither could kids. They deserve to know. When get back, there's voicemail from Laura waiting. Heart sinks immediately. Hesitate before listening. Already know it's bad. Brace myself for whatever she'll say. Always something new. Her voice comes through. Cold and robotic, like reading script. Thomas just got off phone. With Victoria? Here we go again. She told me you've been meeting with lawyers, she says accusingly. More worried about that than fixing anything. Are you really doing this? Voice getting sharp. Are you seriously going to drag our family through court? Just to make some point? Making it about her again. Take deep breath. Try to stay calm. Blood pressure rising. Victoria must have seen me. Leaving Margaret's office, small town gossip. Mentioned it to Laura. News travels fast. Not really surprising. Small towns like ours thrive on gossip. News spreads like fire. But way Laura frames it makes blood boil. Pure manipulation. Like I'm doing this just to punish her. Missing point entirely. Not about revenge. About protecting myself and our children. She can't see that. Message continues. Her voice getting colder. Ice in every word. If you're going to push for divorce, then we need to talk about custody arrangements. Using kids as weapons. I won't let you just take them away. From me, Thomas. Voice threatening now. You're not going to turn kids against me. More accusations. Clench fists tight. Nails digging into palms. Trying to stay calm. She still doesn't get it. Willfully blind. This isn't about taking kids from her. Never was. About protecting them from fallout of her choices. They deserve better. But trying to explain that to Laura like trying reason with brick wall. Impossible task. She's too wrapped up in self-preservation. Can't see past herself to see damage she's doing to everyone around her, especially the kids. Delete voicemail. Without responding. Nothing left to say. Not going let her drag me into another argument. Waste of energy. Need stay focused on what matters now. Kids come first. Next few weeks blur together. Time loses meaning. Meetings with lawyers. Tense calls with Laura. Endless paperwork. Long sleepless nights. Mind won't shut off. Replaying everything over and over again like broken record. Claire getting quieter. During our calls, can hear sadness. Billy still seems blissfully unaware. Blessing of youth, of storm brewing. Between his parents, protected by innocence. Laura's attempts to manipulate narrative. Don't stop. Never gives up. But learning to see through them more easily. Eyes finally open. One day packing up. Rest of my things. At house. Feels foreign now. Victoria shows up. At front door. Unexpected visit. Looking uncomfortable. Wringing her hands. Nervous energy. Waiting for me to answer. Guilt on her face. Hey, Victoria. Try keeping voice neutral. No energy for drama. What's up? Already know why. Thomas, She shifts on feet. More nervous fidgeting. I wanted to apologize for not telling you sooner. Voice barely whisper. Guilt finally showing. About Laura and Andrew? I saw things, but words trailing off. Didn't want to get involved. Didn't want to believe it. Standard excuses. Nod at her words. Appreciate honesty. Too late, but still. Even though changes nothing. Damage already done. Not your fault, Victoria. Reply trying sound forgiving. More than actually feel. Probably wouldn't have believed it either. Back then. Truth in that at least. She lets out shaky breath. Relief visible. You're good guy, Thomas. She says quietly. Guilt in her voice. You didn't deserve this. States obvious. Thanks, I say. Not knowing what else. To say really? Words feel empty. Words feel hollow. But no, she means well. Everyone means well. She hesitates moments. Like wants say more. More secrets maybe. But don't want to dwell. Past is past. Just want to move forward. Eyes on future now. After she leaves. Stand in doorway. Of what used to be home. Feels like museum now. Taking in emptiness. Everything changed. Feels like museum. Of life that no longer belongs to me. Memories everywhere. Reminders everywhere. Pictures on wall. Furniture we picked. Together once. Little details that hold memories. Not ready to face. Too painful still. Take one last look. Around house. Final goodbye maybe. Before closing door. Behind me. Chapter ending. Time to let it all go. No choice really. Drive back to Richards. Feels strange mixture. Of grief and hope. Both fighting inside. Morning life had, or thought I had, dreams turning to dust. Future planned with Laura. All gone now. 8 years erased. But also starting to feel something else. New beginning maybe? Starting to see path. Through all this, light at end. No, won't be easy. Nothing worth it is. Kids need time adjust. They're resilient, though. Laura will keep trying. Her manipulation games. Old habits die hard. But I'm stronger now. Eyes finally open. Can see through lies. Truth sets you free. Weather legal storms ahead. One day at time. Keep kids as priority. Only thing matters. Build new life. From ashes of old. Phoenix rising, maybe? Not what wanted or what planned. Life rarely is. But maybe what needed. Growth from pain. To find myself again. Person was before. To remember who am without her shadow. Standing on own. It won't be perfect. Nothing ever is. But it will be real. Truth over lies. And maybe that's all can ask for now. New chapter begins end of story. But beginning of mine.